Ajahn, a Dhamma friend, was asking, how come we don't discuss jhana or concentration, samadhi?
Before hearing the words of the Buddha, is there anyone is interested in samadhi? We can think that we have samadhi, is doing something with samadhi, and samadhi is just concentrate or focus on what is there appearing. But in truth, Buddha enlightened the nature of samadhi, not as anyone used to think about it as concentration. Buddha enlightened all of realities as they are. So what did he say about samadhi to help the other to understand what is meant by samadhi or what is samadhi in truth? People talk about samadhi a lot, but what is samadhi? Do they know or anyone know? What is samadhi? Is it real? So we can talk about everything without understanding the nature of each one, each reality. For example, samadhi. There can be question about any reality to consider it, realize the truth of it, to know it as it is. Did Buddha enlighten the nature of samadhi or not at all? So what did he say about samadhi? Can anyone know it, understand it when it's there without the teachings of the enlightened one? So we'll begin to understand the subtlety, the very profound teachings of the Buddha about the truth of whatever is there now. So shall we begin with what is samadhi? What is samadhi? Is it real? Is it a reality? Otherwise, we just talk about the word, not the truth of what is there as samadhi itself. So anyone who says samadhi, is there any understanding of what is samadhi? Does anyone know what samadhi is now?
Ajahn said this term is just a concept to him.
That's right. So even the term samatha, what is it? Otherwise, just talk about everything without understanding the truth of it. As it said, is samatha samadhi? Even there is the reality which Buddha said about the truth of it from the very beginning to the end as no one at all. It has to be carefully considered, the truth of it. So why do we talk about samadhi? Because we think that it's known already, but in truth it is just the word about it, not understanding the truth of it yet. But it has to beginning to talk about the truth of it, because it's so real, it's a reality, it's there even right now, unknown. Each moment just arises and falls away instantly, even it's just that which we take for samadhi. So, what is there now? Is it samadhi or not yet? Depending on the understanding of the nature of what we take for samadhi. That's why we begin to talk about the chief of experiencing. It seems like there's no doubt about it. But without understanding what is there now, is the chief of experiencing. Otherwise, there cannot be the understanding of other reality at all. Even the truth of what is there at this moment is not known. That's why listen very carefully to the teachings of the Buddha about just one reality at a time can condition the understanding of the truth, and that's the way to let go ignorance and attachment to take it for someone and something. Is that the point of listening, to be truthful to the truth of this very moment, that the understanding of this moment is not enough at all, as long as we just take it very simple as seeing. So consider now what is now seeing to understand seeing a little more. Even seeing is unexpectedly arising, and then it falls away unknowingly. In order to begin to understand the truth, letting go the wrong understanding, it has to begin with, at moment of seeing right now, what is the nature of that which sees? No one can understand the truth of seeing right then or now at moment of hearing about it. It takes quite a long time to understand seeing right now, as it's not that which is seen. It's at the point of listening again and again to seeing, to understand it very little, very gradually, to begin to attend to the characteristic which is there as not that which is seen. That's why we talk about what is there again and again and again, to understand the truth of that which is there, not only seeing. So now we begin to talk about that which is a reality arising with seeing, but it's not seeing. Beginning to understand how subtle it is, even it's there right now, is not known at all without a little more understanding of what is there together with seeing. Because seeing has to be conditioned to arise. Is there enough understanding of seeing so we don't have to talk about it again and again? Not at all, because even it is there now, it is not known as it is yet until there's more understanding about what is there. We talk about concentration or samadhi or samatha, but what is just that samatha or samadhi? If Buddha did teach about the truth of it, who knows? There is what is said as samadhi, but not samatha. At moment of seeing, there are other realities arising together, experience the same object, but they perform their own function. They cannot perform the function of seeing at all. So there is not just only seeing, there is other realities as conditions for its arising, but they do not appear to be known yet. We talk about samadhi, and there is seeing right now. Is there samadhi at moment of seeing as well? If Buddha didn't teach about the truth, who can understand what is that which is there, not just seeing? We don't have any doubt about that which is there arising together with that which is the experience at that very moment, because there is citta, the chief of experience, the object, and the reality which arises with it is different from it. And how many are there of that which experience the same object, that they can experience the object, but not as a chief, so it's called cetasika. So who can know what arises with seeing, because what are there do not appear. Only seeing is there, sees. So begin to consider what is that people say, concentration or samadhi. Is it there as well? No thought about the nature of what is taken for concentration. It's that which arises and is one pointed to that which is there as the object. All kinds of cetasika, the reality which experience the same object as citta, they arise together. If Buddha didn't talk about it, can anyone know what is there together with citta? We can understand concentration as moment of focusing on the object, but it's not that level of focusing strongly to be known, but at that very moment of seeing, it's there. We can say one-pointedness only to that object for seeing to experience it as a chief. All dhammas are there in daily life every moment, but even one of it, one reality appears, it cannot be known as it's just a reality which arises by conditions and falls away instantly. At moment of reading attentively, what is there is taken for I am very interested in reading that part of the book or the book. But what is there is real. The reality which focus in a moment on one object or one pointedness to that object only one moment at a time, continue on. So what appear is moment of having concentration. So it's that each moment of citta experiencing an object. Even right now, when it's there so strong, there is the idea of I'm concentrating on something, but in truth, it has to arise with each moment of citta to be one pointed to the object which is there, which citta experience. The core of the truth of everything is that each reality is anatta. It's there by conditions arising and falling away instantly. So the characteristic of concentration does not appear in just one moment, arising together with citta. So no matter citta is interested in something or it appears as there's no interest at all, that reality is there each moment arising and is one pointed to the object which citta experienced. Beginning to understand conditions for citta to arise, it can let go the idea of I can make it, I can do it, I am concentrating on something. Citta arises to experience whatever is there now, see? So the characteristic of that which is one pointed to, the object, is changing all the time. So it is that we call no concentration, but actually there must be a reality which arises and performs its function together with citta. And there are many degrees of one reality. Citta arises with different cetasikas, experience different objects and so on, with such and such citta. That's why there can be the understanding of the truth that a reality arises with citta each moment, depending on level of citta, which experience the object to be what level of concentration. Each word is just a hint to condition more attention to the truth of each reality to be known as it cannot be taken for anything at all. Understanding all dhammas are anatta develop gradually each moment of understanding. At moment when concentration is there known, it's not I. The point is that it is just a reality. Otherwise, there is the wish or wanting to have it more and more. Wanting to concentrate on something more is at the path leading to understand the truth, because it's just concentration which develops from moment to moment of one object to be known, but no understanding of the truth. That's why concentration is not right understanding. That's why there can be a little more understanding of what is there as we take for concentration, but it's just the reality which is one point to the object. Only that, and then fall away. And when the object is there again and again, more and more, there can be the moment of being concentrated on that object. But in truth, it's there just in a moment, from moment to moment. So, is that the reality of concentration or one-pointedness right now at moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, any moment of experiencing an object? Is there any doubt about what we heard about Ekaggata Cetasika? Can Ekaggata Cetasika understand anything right now as it is? Can Ekaggata be the chief of experience the object? So it's the moment of letting go of the idea of self. I see, I concentrate, I do. At moment of liking that object very much, is Ekaggata there? How can there be liking of the object, attachment to that object at that very moment? At moment when it's there. Attachment cannot arise alone, and Ekaggata cannot arise alone. Cetana cannot arise alone. Feeling cannot arise. They are all there in a moment, depending on what appears to be known. So now in a day, with understanding of the truth of each one, there can be moment of beginning to know it, but not fully understanding the truth of it. At moment of liking something, liking is not known as just a reality, which is there, not I. So even one-pointedness cetasika, Ekaggata cetasika is there together, but when it does not show up, nobody knows that it's there. The same as Loba. Is this life? So life is just different realities, just arise and falls away by condition, non-stop, as long as there are conditions for whatever arises is there now. No one knows that it has arisen and fallen away, but it's there to be studied, to be known little by little of each different reality. At moment of thinking, I'm concentrating on that one object. Is that the understanding of Dhamma? So in order to begin to understand the truth, it has to be stage by stage. This stage of understanding the truth is only the pariyati, intellectual. And what knows that it's only intellectual understanding? No one. Right understanding is right understanding of the truth.
Ajahn, he has the idea that the concentration can condition the understanding to arise.
How? Yes, but how? It's only the reality which is there. We can use the word focusing or one-pointed or concentrating on that object, but it cannot understand. It performs its function for citta to experience the object as it is, the chief of experiencing. But there are other realities, like, for example, manasikara. It performs its function to attend to the word, the meaning, and the characteristic, but even that is not the understanding. So at moment of understanding, there are many wholesome citasikas performing the function for right understanding to understand a little more, a little more. That's why it's the way to understand the truth of anattaness. Otherwise, it's not all Dhamma are anatta. But the truth is that nobody can change the truth. All Dhammas, what is real, it has its characteristic. It cannot be changed. It cannot perform the other realities' function at all. Because it just arises to perform that function and then gone. It cannot be changed. Is there any other question?